Okay, well, the live stream went about as well as expected considering the state of the internet right now, so we want to figure going to do anyway. Do a recording. So, since it looks like I am going to be stuck with this model now, I did get a refund. I got a partial refund, which I then funneled right back into trying to get the right model. This one's going to come out of Italy. It'll be here in about a month. You know, maybe they'll be the thing and get here sooner, but I decided I'm going to try something a little more befitting this overall design aesthetic, which is not that of a military vessel, JJ. With you little, oh, it's to look like a hot rod. Fuck you, hot rod Maya. Eve's design for the proposed the NX is now the Disco price. That's closer to the mark, and it's still off. But no. This very pragmatic design. Now, I was talking to Drexler about it. It's like, no problem. It's like saying, but look, design of the 40. Look at design of flight engineer of a B-17. So it's got that. What Matt Jeffries would call aircraft sensibility. It looks like it works. This is just also what Drexler called sci-fi design. It looks that way because it's supposed to be in a sci-fi movie, and screw if it actually works in that, or it looks plausible. It looks cool and funky. Like that should never be your approach for a ship design. But I'm gonna throw a picture up here about now of what I got in mind for this bad boy. Suffice to say, it's not going to be the Enterprise. I don't think there's any decals on here I'd want to use anyway. No, I might have to go through JT Graphics and do up some custom decals to do this number. This is going to be the Astral Princess from Princess Cruise Lines in the 23rd century. But yeah, I've been curious about this for a while because I've seen like it is a well-designed kit. It's Revell. Revell always does very good things. Good, The plastic is good grade. And everything, same thing. It should go together well. So we're gonna do a little test fitting here. I'm also fighting the urge to get into my latest dissertation on what Indy's doing, but I'm going to save that for a proper video of its own. This is ludicrous. Of all the fit problems I've had with Enterprises over the years, this is ridiculous. This may require breaking out the hairdryer. I think this box may have been sat on a few times. The box was definitely damaged. Not heavily, but it's crunched in a few places. And I think I may have to do some forcible relocation of stuff here. I think the design itself kind of lends itself to this kind of warpage in the first place. But and I don't really want to blame the designer because he was only doing what he was told. But, God. And some of his initial designs looked a little more plausible, but J.J. Abrams, you smoke a turd in hell for what you've done to this franchise. Yeah, this is gonna be a project. There's nothing. It's hard to believe this thing all came from one designer because it looks like the saucer was done by one team, the secondary hull by another, and the nacelles by somebody, not even on the lot. There's nothing really, they don't go together. Nothing, there's no cohesion to the design. Ironically, this one, they got the base right. That's one of the irritations with the other kid is they totally flipped the insignia is reversed. So I end up, my own sense of sanity. What degree of OCD I might have if I had to flip the thing around so at least it's facing the right way. And just thankfully the design carries through on the other side because they just well, it's a bit of a candy dish now. Hold on. If this works out, if this fits the stand for the, it looks like it might. If this works out for the stand for the other, I might just swap that for the when that one shows up. This is not going to be built anytime soon. I'll tell you right now. Because this one is going to need some work to get it to fit. Whole thing about look, the other ship was so old in the 60s. This looks more 60s than the original ship goes for. That's for damn sure. Oh, swoopy curls and curly cute. I think there's a couple of lava lamps in the cells in there. Closest thing to anything 60s about the original ship is maybe the lights on the nacelles, but even that, that's just Christmas lights. Nothing particularly psychedelic about it, just it's like something's happening in there, some kind of reaction. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so again, overall, it does seem to be a decently engineered kit. Because the saucer went right together. Pins are again. I probably shouldn't push it because I'm going to stick windows in there, but yeah, there's the saucer. One thing I remember regarding this whole period, it wasn't not long after Matt Jeffries died, I think. Some I don't know guild or whatever or group, the Q&A session in Hollywood, and they had a panel of all the various Star Trek designers. They had a couple of guys who worked on the original series with Matt Jeffries. And they had Herman Zimmerman and a few other guys. And the bozo worked on this show, on the J.J. Trek movie, who originally made some rather snide comments about the bridge set, looking like a couple of cardboard boxes taped together. He was noticeably silent during that panel, while the rest of them were talking about, we did this and that. And I think they imagined backstage before it started. They probably took him to school a little bit about what all went into the design of that bridge. How it most certainly was not two cardboard boxes taped together. I have been on that bridge. I've sat in that command chair, at least on the Kingsland, Georgia one. There is nothing cheesy or kitschy about that set, okay? I take personal offense at anybody saying, it's a cheap get on that bridge, sit on that. You tell me, because the thing is, it is laid out in a very specific way to be functional and believable. There's one thing if you're like doing just a movie, you're only gonna like a couple hours, you can get away with it. You're there on a set. You got a weekly series. This is your regular setting. This is your Long Branch Saloon. You know? This is your main setting here. You better, your audience has got to live here, okay? Not just your characters, but your audience too. So, they had to make it believable. And in that respect, because Matt Jeffrey's big thing was the bridge at the time, you know. Well, it became his thing. And he started by, setting out, and he had a lot of real world experience. Again, he was a flight engineer on a B-17 during the war. And he knew the pain in the butt things when you're trying to get to certain things and, maintenance. If we could get behind all this instead of having to get somebody out of the way and move that, that's why the bridge was set up the way it was. What it did, first set up a chair. And then they started rigging. Okay, we need to keep the controls within reach here. You got your primary displays you need right in front of you. The big ones up here, which also not just for you, but also for the captain behind you on the command chair, so he can look around and see whatever is not. If his eyes are good, he can spot what's on air displays, but also the big displays. And the information he might need is up there. And it's all centered around the captain and him being able to command that ship and have the information he needs at any given moment. The administration is not meant. You can look over, that light's going weird. What's going on? And just set it up so that this is, this is a functional command. In fact, the Pentagon at the time wanted to get a look at them because they were thinking about a command center of some sort. And they never did get back to them on if they did anything with it. Which probably wouldn't, because it's probably to this day it's probably classified at the wazoo. But he took it as an honor they would look at his stuff in the first place. So, but yeah, that's what's going to happen. That thing that is not entering Starfleet. That's a private cruise vessel. And that's what it's going to be. So yeah, I think probably JT Graphics might be to do some do some decals for that and just work it up. Cause I just need stuff for the side of the secondary hull, the cells, and the top of the thing. And I don't know, maybe I know the one thing I have to work with there, because on the earlier Princess cruise ships, I think I'll put this picture up now. There was a little logo, a little kind of a sunrise type thing, on the bow of the ship. They don't do it now, but they did. It was on the original Pacific Princess and on the other older, that line. That with some kind of corporate logo, but that might be cute to stick in there somewhere, right on the bow of the ship. That's a little touch. If not, it's optional. But I'm gonna, this is gonna be that's gonna be a while, because I'll tell you right now, for the original Enterprise that I thought I was getting yesterday. It's got rather heavy panel lines engraved in there. They're getting filled in. That's the thing. I'm going to go on because again, that model is supposed to be kind of an amalgamation of all the different versions of the ship. So it's got certain features from the 3-foot model, a lot for the 11-foot, some for the animated, thing, and it's a bit of a jumble. But as it is closer to the mark than the old 18-inch model. And and actually the way it balances out, it's about, if you compare bridge modules, it's about what I figured on paper, how much bigger the Constitution class is than this old bird. I do not count this as the Constitution class. I count that as the Bonhomme Richard class. Slightly older. Still a starship, but just 20 years older. And then along to the Constitution, and we'll upgrade here and there. And also, and I get into the weeds a bit. It's like, well, the older constitutions that have lower numbers than 1700, they were Von Richard classes at some point in the design, either refit later to Constitution specs or change during construction. Because again, these things take years to build. Okay, and there's going to be overlap. You're going to have ships of the older class that are not quite finished yet. Orders come down from fleet operations. Okay, we're going to change everything, and they're not going to change the registry number though. It's still going to be 165, whatever. So that's why you got some constitutions with lower registry numbers than 17 in 1700. Trying to a little bit of realism to the whole thing of registry numbers, because the registry numbers is basically just this is what this is your number in line of ships overall. Yeah, the Constellation and the Reliant was 1864, and and that's right in the middle. So you got a mix in there, and the Oberth class, like the Grissom, was like 650 something, which kind of tells me that these ships are actually a lot older. There's probably been some refits in there, but that's another issue. We'll get into that some other time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I got in mind for that. So things are continuing here, and I think next we will take a little deep dive into the indie things, if you're already feeling inclined. But for now, yes, ship things are going. I got another model coming. Looks like a hood ornament. It'll come on the attempted live stream. But, all right, we'll talk into later.